Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Crafting in a Small Space. I am Miranda, and let's be friends. So, I am going to start a new project here in a second, but I wanted, while he was gone fishing, to talk about some stuff that I started and stopped. So I found this pattern for one of those hexy cardigans, and I don't like granny stitch like at all. So I found actually a couple patterns that were shells, and the people's pattern, like their tutorial, was so fiddly and weird. I think, knowing what I know now, I could probably go and do it, but in my own way. But I found this really cool way to do it from this girl. You make the inside hexie, see the green one in there? You make the inside hexie the size that you want the sleeve to go out from your armpit, because I don't want a gaping sleeve. I don't want to have wizard sleeves. And so you stop it where you want it, and then you continue by crocheting around the majority except the armhole. You stop at the sides of the armhole, which builds it up this way and in this way, back and front. And so I was doing it, and I didn't measure it every time I put another layer on. I just thought, ooh, this is going to be great. This is going to be large and huge. First of all, I should have stopped my sleeve like back here. I should have stopped back here, because I wanted it to just, like this shirt, my shoulder, like there's where it should stop for you to like add a sleeve. But you know, like all t-shirts hang like way down you, and then the sleeve starts. But if I went like this, my armpit is in here, but you can see how much, like there should be like maybe 3 inches off of that. So I made 2 of these, and I kept thinking, oh, well, I want it to be long from here to here so that there's a good drape, but I forgot that I kept widening the sleeve each time downward. So even though intentionally my sleeve was shorter, building it like this was making it long again and wide and gaping again. So I screwed that up. But I really like what I was doing. I was doing a green center with stripes of purple, and then the other side, I tore some of it out so that I could figure out what was going on. The other side is purple with green stripes. So I'm not going to work on it now because I started ripping these back out. I took out the extra layers. I took out this many layers off one side and then pinned it to see how it fit. And it was nice not having all of these extra layers I put in, but you of course still need the width to build it across your chest and build it across your back. And being bigger, you know, I'm gonna need that to be looser. So I needed to stop the sleeve way back here this distance and not put a bunch of rows on, maybe like 3 rows on here, but several rows on that direction. So I'm going to rip this not completely out. I am going to keep my core and rip the core back smaller as well, and I'll just keep pinning it to feel, put it on and then put pins, stitch markers where I would stop it next time, because I worked a little bit on Mom's blanket. I did so much of this in the days I've been here, but I haven't been checking it. I've just been putting rows on, which was stupid because I just did a bunch of wasted work, which means I didn't finish that, and I didn't finish this. This is going to take a while, the blanket. One of the days I did the full tutorial how to make the basket for the Battle of the Stitches. So one of the days I made the bowl, and then a day after that, after that, I made him a little buddy. And then when we were in Newport, I made just a little regular, the stitch that's single crochet, double crochet, single crochet, double crochet, single crochet. And it's super funny. It looks like Frankenstein right there. So I made a bunch of these. And then I have the yarn that I've been talking about endlessly. that I got from Feisty Fibers, and I've only found 2 videos online, 2 videos of anybody buying this yarn. I don't know if I don't know anything about it. I just know that during the semi-annual sale several years ago, I was like, oh my gosh, I want real yarn, I deserve it, but I want enough skeins to do something with, but I can't afford, I mean, I can, but I don't want to buy expensive yarn, you know, all the time. But so I bought the 3 of them. They don't feel awful, but for some reason when you work up the work, and this is me trying to do the Venetian shawl again, and so I worked it up, and when you use a larger size, it's funny, this yarn is called Gutted, and look at the color of it, it's very bloody horror movie. And so it was so funny when the perfect size needle was the one that's all the marbles, it's all bloody looking. So I was trying to do the Venetian shawl again, and I was learning the pattern, and I went up a hook size to get kind of like a softer, better drape on it. But in doing so, you know, everything was going fine, but when you're doing the row on this side, you see the braid down the center. When you're doing the row on this side, it sets up the eyelets. See the eyelets right there? This one. It sets up the eyelet row, and then when you do this row where you open it all up by doing your knits and everything, for some reason on this side of the braid, each time I do an eyelet row, it's a very big giant hole. So I connected with Amba O'Brien on Ravelry, and she said that it looked like my tension wasn't exactly even, but I'm doing the pattern correctly. And it's just weird to me, because why would this happen to me on that last one? Remember that one I made, the orange and the Mardi Gras colored one? The reason why I'm making this, again, I told you this before, the reason why I'm making this is so that I can get that stitch memory back and then continue on the one that I've already got going, because it's just so gorgeous. The one I'm making though is on a smaller hook. This is a 5.5. The one I'm making, it's on a 5. But that yarn is a lot better than this. I don't want to waste this yarn. I don't want to waste it. And the thing is I have that other one, the other 3 too. And these were like 50 or 60% off when I got them. So I got 6 balls of yarn for what probably 4 would cost normally. And so she offered to like take them back and reimburse me back when I did this. And I was like, I don't want to do that to you. You know, you worked on the yarn, it's fine. I just wanted to know if it was on a different base than it said, because it's the texture of hard cotton yarn. So, but I have to start this over, but on good yarn. Maybe, I don't know. I want to use this yarn. I don't know what to do. If you guys know what to do, I've seen a lot of tutorials where people are like, oh, I'm using cotton yarn, but I've felt different yarns and cotton yarns, and there is cotton yarn that feels soft, and this says 100% superwash merino, and I've felt that yarn before on other things, and I feel like it was softer. So, and the color is gorgeous. It's just gorgeous. I don't want to like not use it. So, and the thing is when you do this, there's a section here that's the startup. Then there is the growing row, and then you start doing the eyelets in the growing row. And I can't do it while he's around, because every time he asks me a question, and it's not a bad question or anything like that. When we're out here, he's like nice, but I can't do it while he's around, and it sucks, because if I rip this shit out again, when I rip this shit out again, I feel like I'm just gonna keep redundant. I don't know. I feel like I should just keep going. I don't know. That's frustrating me. So I made this giant piece here, you know, you know, I can't talk. I made this big one and that big piece so that I could sew them together and needed to undo them. So I did do a lot of crocheting and stuff since I've been here. And I put in a bunch of segments on that, but nothing substantial. I did rip back the top portion of this, but not the side portion. So I've got the balls of yarn for it balled up right here, because if I go back and do this, then I didn't really want to rip this all out, but I realized I've made the decision to go back a bunch on this, which means this has to come out. So yeah, it's a lot of rip back after working so hard on it, and I was so solid on the pattern because she made it seem so easy. If you do it a different way, it comes out so much better than the other ones, because not everybody wants a giant gaping whole arm, and there's a lot of people that are altering these patterns like super easily. I rolled it up in a ball. Look at all of this crocheting I did to have to tear it out. It's just so frustrating. So yeah, that's that. So, but okay, now I was watching videos, and I'm going to start a new project here in a minute when I'm done with this. Let me take a sippy of my... Oh yeah, totally bad for you, but it's caramely, deliciously energy. Okay, so I just got done. I cannot believe he's wearing it right now. I can't believe I forgot to film this before he took it and wore it. But I just knit a hat. I finished it yesterday. I started it day before yesterday, and I made him the colors of the orange from that blanket. I knit him the butterfly stitch hat, but I reduced the pattern. I should have reduced the cast on. I can't even tell you how big this hat is. It's like so ridiculous. I need somebody who is a knitter. What is the deal with different cast-ons? The lady that I learned from on a YouTube video was a Hispanic lady, and she was making a knit hat with worsted yarn, actual worsted yarn, not worsted but super thin. Like, there's a lot of yarn out there where it's like, oh, this is a worsted, and you get it in your hand and you're like, no, this is definitely thinner than that. But it was a actual worsted yarn. I'm talking like this, and she knit a hat, and she casts on 72. When she uses bulky yarn, she casts on 42. So I've always kind of went by that. And if I go by the stitches of people's tutorials for the hat they're making, and it's a universal one-size-fits-all kind of hat, the hat I made him is a cast on of 80, and then you do a pattern repeat of 6. And I started making that. I forgot. I've made this hat so many times. I forgot, because it's been a year or two since I made one, that her cast on being 80 shouldn't be 80. It should be at least 6 less than that, because when you put the hat on, you can actually grab the hat on the side, and the amount that you grab to tighten the hat to where it's a good fit, you let go and you open it, it's exactly 6 stitches too wide. And I would have cast on 72. And with 72, in the multiple area around that, like 1 stitch on or off of that, it would have been better in that number. So but I found all these beautiful hats that I want to knit and everything, but they're like cast on 85 stitches, cast on 112 stitches, and I have the category set to worsted yarn, and so I'm a little confused. And I know that everybody's gauge is different, but this is dramatically different. 112 stitches, 118 stitches, 80 something stitches, 90 stitches, and it's like, no pattern I crochet shrinks it down so much that that's gonna fit around your head. And I have a smaller actual head size than he does. He thinks that I have a bigger head than he does just because I'm fat, but it's like, that's not where, you don't wear your hat on your fat chin. So he's wearing the hat right now, but he put it on, and I made it for him, and he put it on, and he was like, it's a little big, but it's nice, and I love it, and he's out there fishing right now wearing it. But I've been knitting for a really long time and crocheting for a really long time, and it would be so important to me to have a one-on-one conversation with somebody who has enough knitting knowledge to kind of give me a where and why for kind of conversation. Like, this is why we do it like this. This is like, where's like one of those little picture key things saying how much cast on for what? Because if I know what a stitch repeat is, I kind of make it in the realm of 72 somewhere. Like, I put it either on either side of that. Just like, and I don't do hats that don't have ribbing on the brim, and there's a bunch of hats out there, and I was looking them up today, where it's this beautiful knit hat and whatever, and it has zero brim. It's just this weird rolled edge, and I don't want to do that. And I don't like double brimmed stuff because all of my hats are like skull caps. They're not beanies that drape off the back of your head. And you don't roll mine over and roll the brim a bunch of times. It's just what it is. It's like a skull cap kind of beanie. And so I'm confused, because the majority of people that, I mean, I'm part of one knitting group on Facebook and like a billion crochet ones. And the crochet people talk, but the knitting people just post their stuff and they don't really talk. And it's like, I want somebody who makes the same kind of stuff that I do to talk to me about it. Because everybody always has these, they make things I don't make and will never make. And so I feel like if I ask them about something that they don't make, how are they going to answer me? But anyway, so I'm going to make a hat today, and I just bought, you don't even, oh my God, just keep that a secret. I discovered a couple of years ago those doodle cards. Never bought any before, but during a interesting haze yesterday of wanting to do color work for the first time, I bought the entire core set of Autumn, which comes with Autumn 1, 2, and 3. I bought the digital patterns and the digital cards and the physical cards, and the physical cards will arrive at my house in like 2 or 3 or 4 days. But you download all the actual cards to look at, and the patterns for the cowls you can make with those things. I don't understand why they didn't put the hat pattern in there. Why wouldn't they put the hat pattern in there? I make hats. I love making cowls as well. I do. But I wanted to make the hat, and when it said 3 pattern digital download with it, I thought they meant the hat, the infinity scarf cowl, and the cowl. And it wasn't. It was how to make 3 different variations of the stitches in this cowl, that cowl, and the other cowl, different prints, 3 different ways. 3 different prints. And so I'm like, okay, and then I bought the core, which that's $35 just for that. The box of 50 something cards, the digital downloads to make the 3 prints, different cowls and infinity scarves, and the digital cards that you can look at on your phone. I bought the autumn one and the winter one, which includes a bunch of Christmassy stuff. It includes a lot of good stuff. So I got the one that's autumn, but it's a lot of good Halloween stuff as well. And it has 2 or 3 expansions that I did not buy. One looks like a whole bookshelf of skulls and potions and kitty and all this kind of stuff, but the color work on it is like 4 different colors. And it's gorgeous. And then there's one that's monsters, which is like Dracula and Frankenstein and bats and other things and whatever, and they all come with at least 25 cards. The expansions are 25 cards usually, or 24, but the core set is like 50 something. which includes like autumn 1, 2, 3, winter 1, 2, 3. But then there's like these offshoot ones. The Alaska one is gorgeous because it has moose and mountains and all sorts of stuff, but I did not get that one. It does not come with my thing. The other one that I'm going to get but didn't is the Portland one. Portland, Oregon is where I live. And they have like the Portland sign and glasses and a little mustache and a beanie. A lot of them come with the beanie one, where it's like a little beanie that repeats. Mustaches, bikes, a few of the bridges, Multnomah Falls, donuts, the Portland sign. I don't remember the other ones, but there is also the other one that I bought that I forgot about because I was testing it. I was like, what does it mean, digital download only? What does that mean? And so I was like, is it going to be easy for me to navigate? Like, do I want to just do digital of all of them, or do I want to have the physical cards? And now I realize I should have done physical cards on all of them and the other thing, because when you look at them on the phone, they're just like super zoomed in your face. And you want to rearrange them and put them where you want when you are going to make the garment or whatever you're going to make. So I actually got the Rhinebeck pack of doodle cards, but the digital only, because I was testing it with my card and everything. So I have the Rhinebeck pack, which is like 25 or 20, it's 24, because it's giving you alternate colors of one card 12 times. I thought it was 24 different cards. It's 12 times 2 in alternate shade variation, like a black outline sweater with a light background, or a verse, opposite. So I got the Rhinebeck one, and it has skeins of yarn. It has little balls of yarn. It's got sweaters. It's got sheep. It's got all sorts of cool stuff. So I got that one, the autumn core and the winter core. So technically I got 7 sets, because the winter is 3 sets and the autumn is 3 sets, and then the Rhinebeck is one of its own set. I need to get the Portland one. There's one called Haunted that is another expansion of the autumn set, and it is really cool. It's got like haunted houses, trees with like moons and bats and kitties and gravestones and all sorts of things. And now that I know what they're made of, I was like literally half asleep last night when I was like, yeah, sure, purchase, whatever. I should have, if I would have thought it through, I would have done it. So maybe I shouldn't have thought it through, because I am excited to use them now. But I can make all sorts of things from it. And I'm really super excited, because the thing that I'm going to make right now, and I'll show you the yarn that I'm going to use for it. You'll recognize the yarn because I use it on everything. Let me put my stuff away here. My little thingies. These hanging things and these little net things I got everywhere are really cool. They're actually for motorcycles. Okay, let me stab this. Look, it's a TV. Getting a good channel. Oh gosh, they're not staying in there. There we go. Get in there, you little butthead. Okay, so my stitch marker for my thing I'm currently going to work on is one of my Sucra miniatures, and it is a deviled egg. He loves deviled eggs, but it's a tiny deviled egg. And I take the little alligator clamp part and put it on. I buy these fabric hair ties, because a lot of stuff that I make, I don't hook this to my work. I put this on the needle. So it's easier for me that way. I need to make some more in different variations of different types, because there are a few row counters that I've made that the little ring on them is too small, and they each need a large ring. So I need to make one with a large ring with different little bead numbers on them. And then the hat that I made yesterday was that oranges, and look how perfectly this matches to that. It's got that sunset. You can't actually see it, can you? It's purple. Stupid thing. It's purple. I have 0 light. There's 0 light, but there's purple in there. That dark is purple. Purple, orange, red, and yeah. So these actually match the hat because the hat has this like violet streak in it. So I'm going to use that, but I am going to use these. These were from my cardigan. I have 3 of these and I have 3 of these, and I'm pretty sure making that cardigan I'm going to need 1.5 of each, but I have 3 of each. So making this hat's not going to put any kind of dent in it. So I'm going to make a purple hat right now, and I'm going to try, and it's weird because none of my doodle cards have the tree that I want on it. I'm going to try to put a color work tree in there, like trees. I'm going to make pine trees all the way around the hat. And this will be my very first time doing any kind of color work in knitting. And I was searching online all day yesterday, and he just kept being like, you're still on your phone, you're still on your phone. I'm like, yes, I'm still on my phone. Do you know how much of this stuff I got to learn? You know how much of this stuff I got to read? Each pack, when you're looking at the doodle packs, each pack, which these are genius idea, by the way, each pack, it doesn't tell you all the ones it comes with, but you can accidentally buy the expansion pack when all the things are in the core bundle. And it's better to buy the core bundle. My hand is, look at my thumb. You can buy the core bundle and it'll have a bunch of those in it. Like, you don't want to accidentally buy an expansion pack or a section if it all comes in the big core pack. And the core pack is $28. And it's got like 52 cards in it. So I was like, oh, I'm going to buy this Halloween one, because I thought the Halloween one was separate. Because I'm like, why would they make a separate one? And one of the ones I almost bought was actually in the core pack. So it's like you got to go through and you got to look at the physical photos of what the make looks like to see the different ones, but it doesn't actually show the different ones, all of the different ones. It shows a big number of them. I thought, I'm pretty sure that one of the sets, it shows all the ones it has, because when I went and looked, I was like, oh, I purchased it. And then you go in and you look and you're like, wait, this is all, there's 12 here, and there's just 2 variations of 12. That's not 24 different. That's 12 different, 2 different color variations of the same one, which makes me feel kind of cheated, because I could have did that by myself. I didn't, whatever. It is what it is, and I bought it already. All in all, I paid like $80 for the 3 sets. If you buy just the digital part without the cards and without the patterns to make the cowl, 2 cowls, it's $5. But you have to buy the packs separately. You can't buy the core in digital only. You have to buy Autumn 1, 2, and 3, which is $5, $10, $15. If you buy the core thing, it's $28. I don't remember what you have to buy them separately. But if you buy the core, it's $28, and you get other stuff. You get the physical cards. So I am going to attempt to put the green trees inside this purple. But the thing is I didn't buy the pattern. I thought the pattern came, the hat pattern for these things came with the damn things I bought. But now I have to buy an extra thing if I'm going to do it in the stitch width, because all of the doodle stitches are very specifically numbered. So I have to buy the pattern now. But the thing is I'm assuming it's going to be like cast on 112. And I'm like, that's not going to be small enough. I don't understand how people cast on 112 with a hat with worsted yarn. Like, is that a thing? Like, is there people out there making worsted weight hats with the cast on of 112 and it fitting? I don't know. And the thing is I don't have anybody to ask, because when you go online to YouTube or Google or Pinterest or any of those kind of places, or Ravelry, nobody will tell you anything about what they did. It's just, look at what I did. And so I'm like, I have nobody to ask if before I have to purchase the dang pattern for the hat, what the cast on is, because I'm not going to cast on 80 stitches to do any of these hats. It's all plain knit stitches all the way around once you finish the brim, and it's not stretchy, so it doesn't squeeze in as you go, so that 80 cast on is going to stay 80 cast on. The hat I made him was 80 cast on for the brim, 1 by 1 ribbing. Then you put randomly in your circle, you put randomly 4 expansion stitches, like 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here in the circle, just wherever. You didn't really have to do anything specific. You just had to increase by 4. Well, that increase by 4 made it extra looser. And it's like the butterfly stitch kind of does shrink in because you're doing a purl, twisted knit purl, then the braid. And so I'm like, I thought it would squish in just a little bit more than it did, and then me altering it, I dropped the repeat of the little butterfly, because there was a butterfly here, there was a gap of stuff, and then there was a butterfly here. But I like it when my butterflies are like right on top of each other, because it doesn't look like a butterfly, it just looks like this really pretty pattern, and it doesn't look like a butterfly anyway when you do it the right way. It's called the butterfly stitch. But so I shrunk those down and just did a lot more of them, and it looked the way that I wanted it to look, like the ones I've made before that I've showed in other videos. So I'm going to attempt that now. I'm trying to get off my damn phone. I'm trying to get off the phone. But I'm watching Warm Bodies right now, that zombie movie about the guy who starts thinking and his heart beats when he sees the girl and starts to return back to being a person, and they solve zombieism. But I need to now look and see about that stupid pattern for the hat for the doodles, because I have just discovered this morning that you can go on Pinterest and find tons of these doodle charts that are just knitting charts that you can just turn into these things. I've just found hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and made a whole entire board of them, and people have shown all the doodle cards, which I don't condone sharing people's hard-earned thing you're supposed to purchase, but all the doodle cards are on Pinterest, and I'm like, well, why would somebody buy them if they're free? Why would you do that to somebody's pattern? Like, come on, show like your finished thing or something like that, but don't show the whole card. Granted, on the preview pages of all the doodle cards, you can see the majority of doodle card. But there is a few on there that when I get advanced, I will be cooking those up, because there are some alien ones, like xenomorph, like the xenomorph sweater that you've seen online. I could just put that right in the front. I'm gonna make a square. God, I'm gonna make a square knit. And I'm going to put all the xenomorph stuff on it, and then I'm gonna splice that somehow into, or just sew it to something. I don't know. I'm gonna splice it into something maybe sometime at some time and make my own xenomorph actual sweater. Me and my sister want that sweater that looks like xenomorph eggs and face huggers and stuff like that. It's a print on a t-shirt, but it looks like a knit sweater. It's super funny. And I found a Jaws one. But there are a few flat pieces that I would love to turn into the front of a shirt for myself, or a bag front. Anyway, so I'm going to get started on that. I'm going to research the stupid hat pattern. I really need some knitters out there to tell me what the hell the deal is with, I'm on Ravelry. I've put in knitting. I've put in worsted weight yarn. I've put in color work. I've put in hat pattern. I put in beanie, or toque, beanie, whatever you want to call it. So, and I put in free patterns so that I can just read a bunch of them to see the stitch average, and the average stitch count is like 80 and 112. I just don't understand it. And I have middle of the road tension, so it's not like I'm too tight or too loose. It's just funny, because I thought you were always supposed to cast on like 72 for a hat, or maybe like, here's 72. and here's all the little numbers on you. I thought you were supposed to be kind of like maybe some on this side, some on that side. It's 178 or 171 or something, like that. I mean, 71, not 171. So I thought that was just normal for worsted weight yarn. You do 72 stitches to cast on a hat. If you're making super bulky yarn like Woolies Thick and Quick, you do 42. That's always worked for me. And then here I go and I follow the pattern of 80 stitches for a pattern that has some ribbing that would squeeze it in the actual pattern, not just the brim. And it's loose. It's not terrible, but it's one gusty wind, it's probably not going to feel too secure. I don't know. But I'm excited to do this because I have been doing dumb things and I make a lot of big projects. And then I work on them for a long time. So I don't have that whole whip Wednesday, finished Friday kind of anything. I'm just always making like multiple giant things. Like, I think I'm the only person I know in person in my life that is a crafty, crochet, knitty type of person. I'm the only person I know of my circle of people that has ever knit a freaking king size blanket without a problem. So I don't know, I just do big stuff, and I'm like, wait, why everybody's always making things saying, oh, I made this, and I can make this blanket that I'm making right now is ridiculous. I should have been smarter and altered the pattern and done back loop double crochets. This blanket, I made probably this much of the blanket and had to rip it out because I wanted to get the ribs perfect. And I noticed like a mistake. This was like way back in the beginning of this whole thing. But if I would have did back loop double crochets, I could have made 2 of these blankets in this time. And it's just such a daunting thing to do such enormous rows of single crochet pattern. I hate single crochet pattern. I'm like, it would look perfectly good and the same if you did double crochet in your wheat stitch. And it wouldn't be too open weave, which I hate. So I don't know. I'm such a dummy for not altering it right off the bat. And I was like, oh, this pattern is so gorgeous. It's so plush. It's so my stupid self. I did a test row the other day of what it would look like. I did like that much of it. What it would look like with a double crochet back loop, and it doesn't look different. It's just wider. And I'm such a dummy because I could have been done by now. But I have 2 more skeins of the macchiato cakes and 1 more not full size 1 pound to put into it still before I'm done. And my mom wants it to be taller than her, and my mom's like 5'2". So I'm pretty sure that putting this yarn into it will make it the right length so that it is absolutely perfect for her, because I want it to be right. But I can't believe I wasted my time on that cardigan, and I haven't done much of my blanket because I've been on the phone looking for patterns and trying to learn things and doing the doodle card thing yesterday. And then there's days where I'll mess around looking for patterns for a couple days, and it just like takes forever. But yeah, I still don't know what to do with that yarn that I have here in the corner that is not the softest. I want to use it, but I need somebody to tell me if superwash merino normally feels like washcloth cotton. I need somebody else. I need to go to a knitting store, one of those bougie ones that the yarn's all like $40 a skein. Nothing against that. I'm just saying one of those. And I need to go in there during a knit night and be like, can somebody give me an opinion on this? Is it supposed to feel like this? What do I do with this type of yarn feeling the way that it does? Because I don't know if anybody's going to want it on their skin. And I don't want to crochet a project with it and just waste it on some like throwaway kind of item. I mean, I really want to use it on something someone wears, but I don't know if that's normal. because I have a lot of really nice yarn and it's all soft, except that. I say the same thing over and over again. I'm so sorry. So I'm gonna go do more research on this stupid hat and hopefully get to actually make it. Thank you for watching, everybody.